talked about Sibyls and Oracles, women's roles in history, and the fact that these scriptures were written by women. We talked about the Masons and the fact that everything was in the name of the women. We talking about, all the land, the wealth, the knowledge, everything. You name it, it was in her name. And that originally this was a matriarchal planet, matriarchal order. All right. One other thing that I want to get into is, when we ask about proof, like I said, I like to come with proof, science, etymology. I want to come into archaeology, historical documentation, biblical documentation. Now I want to get into some legal documentation. All right. Want to go into real quick, and I won't put it up on the screen, but the Iroquois Confederacy. The Iroquois Confederacy. Why is this important? Because when people say to me, well, there's no proof and there's no proof of matriarchy, you can go back. They're still in China. It's a small sect now because, again, men have taken this over and written women out of history, because when you conquer something, then they're going to rewrite the history. But China, in Indonesia, and it's been wiped out of Africa. Whatever was over there, that's been wiped out. You find some women societies, but they're more so not from back in the day. They're more recent because they kicked the men out. That's different than what I'm telling you about. Originally, there were matriarchal societies. But I want to come into the Americas, because I told you about the Khalifa tribe and what we know of as North America, and I told you about the Amazon women and what we know of as South America. Now, let's get into this Iroquois Confederacy. What is the Iroquois Confederacy? Well, this is a documentation whereby the original people actually claimed ownership of the land. The original people of the land, they claimed ownership of the land. And I'm going to see if I can pull it up here and read it. But in that document, it's telling you the people who claimed, and by the way, the Iroquois Confederacy is the document which was the Constitution for the United States of America was created from. The original Constitution, the organic Constitution, was created from the Iroquois Confederacy. So I want to see if I can find it here, and then I'm going to read it real quick. All right, so basically in this Iroquois Confederacy, what it's stating is that everything comes through the woman. Everything. She is the owner of it. All right, so in this, it's called Rights, Duties, and Qualification of Lords. All right, it says, and this one on this document, it's number 17. You can find 2 copies of the Iroquois Confederacy at unarepublic.com/docs, DOCS, unarepublic.com/docs, DOCS. So let me read this. It says, a bunch of a certain number of shell, wampum, in brackets, strings, each 2 spans in length, shall be given to each of the female families. Pay attention. In which the lordship titles are vested. I'm going to read that again so that you hear me clearly, so we understand legally that this land in the Americas, you're not even supposed to be getting it unless you go through a woman. Period. To this day, this land is still in the name of the women. And it is in accordance with this document which precedes the Constitution. A bunch of a certain number of shells, wampum strings, each 2 spans in length, shall be given to each of the female families in which the lordship titles are vested. It goes on to say, the right of bestowing the title shall be hereditary in the family of the females legally possessing the bunch of shell strings And the string shall be the token that the females of the family have the proprietary right to the lordship title for all time to come. Who didn't hear that? I'm going to say it again. This is the second sentence. The right of bestowing the title shall be hereditary in the family of the females legally possessing the bunch of shell strings, and the string shall be the token of the females of the family. The females of the family have the proprietary right to the lordship title for all time to come. So, once again, it always was the women. Everything always was theirs. And even when the people started coming into this land, the original people had already ordained who was the owner of the land. It is the women. Matriarchy was here before those who came into this land and started running roughshod over the original people. Sibyls and Oracles. Those were the women who wrote those scriptures that are in the Bible. But she was taken out of her stories. And now it's his story.